Hello and welcome back to LRC's The League. This is Season 5 and it's the finale. This is Round 6 at Le Mans, Division 1. We had a great Division 2 race, lots of strategy involved, had some great battles, really great drives by a few drivers there. And now it's time for the Group 1s, the Toyota GR010s and all their different liveries representing different teams and manufacturers. And today we have Rhymes in the commentary booth. How you doing, Rhymes?
Good. Excited to see the second race here. Div 2 was pretty exciting. I think it'll be a good finish too.
Yeah, we'll see if this race is as entertaining. I hope it is. It was a fun one to watch with all the different offset of strategies. This one, only the medium tires are allowed, so it makes the strategy easier for the drivers. At least they don't have to worry about more than one compound. But also, we always talk about the potential weather around here. This is one of the tracks in the game where it can rain, and the first slot of 9, I think, is the only one that it's gonna be basically this, and then whoa, sideways moment there from Willie. And it can rain after that. It's just random. So drivers on their out lap here, just starting their first timed lap. We'll go through the drivers once again, and I don't think there are any reserves or subs tonight. Looks like at first glance there in the practice lobby, everyone in their normal cars today. So Anthony Collazo leading the group of cars for the first time lap in the full throttle fajitas Toyota car. And then Willie, always a favorite at the front of qualifying or the race, really, always ends up towards the top there. And I believe at this point is pretty solid in the lead in points.
Yeah, no one, I don't think anyone can catch up to him at this point.
Yeah, he's won every race, all 5 so far. So we'll see if he can complete the set of 6 races as win.
I think he's 26 points out ahead of Stoles, who's in the second. Depending on how the two of them do, Collazo is the next closest racer behind Stoles, about 12 points back. So we see some problems for Stoles in the race. Could be a battle for second in the series there.
Nice. So close on points for second then. I'm not sure how many points you get for a win. It might be 25. In which case Stoles would need the win and fastest lap to tie Willie, and Willie would have to get no points, DNF early on maybe, but I suppose it's possible. We have Nixon, one of the Mystic Maple Porsche cars, that Spike livery based off of the AO Racing team, who run the Rexy livery in the Group 3 Porsches as well. The GT3 Porsches, I guess. Victor Hames, the second HHR car out there, and a bit sideways at the exit of the Mulsanne corner. Picked up a half-second penalty somewhere along the way, so this lap will not be valid, but medium tires on these cars, again, they'll be able to push a couple laps without losing too much grip, so that is an upside there. Bergold in, I think, the only Renault today. Bergold, the race director of the Division 2 race earlier today, so a shout out to him for doing that. And we'll say it was a slightly easier job today since there was no VSCs. You didn't have to do much. You're just watching the race. But always appreciate the help from the race directors. Adds in the other Toyota car. And Arya in the bright blue, or it's not bright blue, but very blue. Azul Dodge and Lamb King.
Third race of the night.
Third race of the night. It's a bit like working at a coffee shop and doing a double and then opening the next morning. He's doing all three. Not sure at what point his arms turn into jello, but 3 races in a row. That's impressive.
Yeah.
He did a good drive last race. So Division 2 today is the one I'm talking about. Drove from last to 9th place, I think he finished. So good drive by him.
And the academy earlier with me, he was in first. So pretty good there. He seems to really enjoy driving on this track. As you can tell.
He likes the big tracks. He likes the Nordschleife 24-hour layout and things like that. Certainly always up to a challenge of any kind. Track had the other AMG benefactor on track, Lamb King's teammate today. We have Ryder in the Azul Dodge as well. And Accession, Willie's teammate in the Team.com Ford car. And speaking of Willie, first time lap has a 324.2 on the board and is still pushing there, currently 1.3 seconds ahead of Anthony Palazzo.
Now with these cars, since they just have the one tire compound to run, I suppose a lot of the tuning, how you tune the car comes into play more importantly here because it's a one-make series. Do you think any of the teams are running a different setup from qualifying to the race?
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's mostly going to be gearing, because like we were talking about in Division 2, or we mentioned in Division 2, Division 2 is much more tire limited, where this is more fuel limited, based on strategy. So when you set up the gearing in a race, if you want fuel efficiency, you don't want to be maxing out the top gear down the straight, because that will burn much more fuel, but it is faster over one lap, or however many your fuel lasts. Looks like they have just about as enough fuel here to go 3. But yeah, to answer your question, I guess you would just lengthen the top gear so that you're not so the engine isn't screaming at the top of the rev range, using up a lot of fuel down the Mulsanne straight. Most other things would be pretty similar, I would imagine. I don't think anyone's going to be changing the complete suspension configuration or anything like that. It looks like Stoll's improved there up to 2nd place with a 24.8. Anthony Palazzo didn't improve position there, still in, well, dropped to 3rd. Really, V8 Eater has been a pretty strong qualifier this season. Started out the season struggling a little bit with race strategy, but has really improved throughout. Did a pretty good job at the Nürburgring in terms of qualifying and race result. Got Ryder and Arya to Azul Dodges in 5th and 6th place, which I think is where they finished the previous race at Watkins Glen. They had the whole team had a really good result there.
You got V8 Eater in the standings. He's on 10th. Arya, who you mentioned, in 9th, right ahead of him by 5 points. So could be a chance for V8 Eater to move up a little bit in the overall standings, depending on how things go tonight.
Yeah, that's another battle to keep an eye on for sure. Looks like everyone has crossed the line here, just waiting for the time to run out. So Lamb King qualifying at the back here, 13th, but look at the gap for a track as long as this, and the setups to be completely open. 10 and a bit seconds is not very much between 1st and 13th, considering.
Could be a pretty tight race.
Yeah.
Can keep it going.
Willie here using the extra time to maybe switch to that race setup that we're talking about. Getting used to short shifting in the car, that sort of thing. So let's take a look at the results again. You could ignore the banner at the top. I forgot to remove that between streams. This isn't round 1 Daytona. So Willie taking pole position with a 3:24.2, and we have Stoles in 2nd place on the starting grid. Anthony Colazzo starting 3rd. Then we have 4th and 5th for V8 Eater and Ryder. Arya and Vergold 6th and 7th, and Ads starting in 8th place. I think the I thought the lobby reset there and I couldn't see the rest, but Sir Hames 9th, and then Nixon starting in 10th place. Trackhead, Accession, and Lamb King 11th, 12th, and 13th place. So that is the starting order there. It is going to be a rolling start, just like D2 was. So, glad we went over the qualifying results fairly quickly.
So I wonder if well, there were only 13 people there in the qualifying, so I wonder if I'm still only 15 in the room.
Not quite sure. It might just be different lobby settings for the race. I know Dinosaur, he likes to simulate a race weekend kind of. So if you do qualifying on a Saturday, for example, you're gonna have different weather than the Sunday on the race. So if the weather kind of repeats itself after it comes up with its random generation, then it doesn't feel like a different day. It just kind of feels like you're repeating the exact same weather. So that could just be that.
One of the things, definitely, since this is my first season with LRC and really starting to take part in the group, one of the things I really appreciate about what you guys do is kind of trying to be as authentic as possible. Get those sorts of little touches, such as resetting the weather from qualifying to the race.
Right.
A lot of focus on good, clean driving. Definitely having people think about would you do this in a real car? Would you be that dangerous? Or would you be a little bit safer?
Right, exactly.
Try to bring that energy to the race.
Yeah, and I think that even goes a kind of what a phrase I'm trying to use here, but the rules as well, like the passing guidelines we follow, kind of follows the same sort of path where we look at we reference like club racing
Hmm.
where any damage to your car like kind of comes out of your own pocket. Like you're not a driver in a massive big team or something where you take off a front wing in Monaco and you're like, oh yeah, it's $125,000, but it's it's yeah, but yeah, it kind of creates a more clean clean racing
Hmm.
environment.
Yeah, it creates a space where the racers can kind of get comfortable because, in a lot of the things you deal with in Gran Turismo Sport Mode, especially,
Right.
you're dealing with some pretty messy racing. And so here you can kind of, focus on the racing and not have to worry so much about people coming after you for getting the pass.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I'm still working on my completing 50 sport mode races to get that trophy. It's the most elusive one for me. I got all the rest.
Every once in a while I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna really spend some time with Sport Mode and get my driver ranking all the way up. And
Right.
one or two races in, I'm always so just disappointed that I I walk away again.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I kind of dread it after after racing here in these league races where it's all like you feel like if you're racing at the front, like you kind of know you can trust the person next to you that you can go side by side with in the corner.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
there's no way I would attempt that in a in an online public lobby. But it's just a completely different kind of mentality here.
Hmm. Yeah, makes for some good racing.
Yeah. So this race is gonna be 17 laps around here. I know a few times this season in Division One, there's been a couple drivers who have pulled off some really good two-stop strategies. Um, really saving as much fuel as possible, really stretching out the stints with the fuel tank. And we'll see if anyone's able to do that today. It's a lot of time full throttle, but like we mentioned a bit before, as the drivers are putting their R's in the chat here, say that they're ready to start. It's kind of we briefly went over extending the gears and the short shifting kind of thing, and that really does help with if you're at the bottom of seventh gear at the highest speed portion of the track, then you're going to be using a lot less fuel.
Hmm. Yeah, Willie seems to be a scientist of figuring
Yep.
out fuel and tire wear.
Yeah, when if you're a really good driver but are new to strategy and tuning, so if you're a driver who it has a really good pace but has only really done sprint races or yeah, just not had to worry about uh setting up the car or tire wear, fuel consumption, that kind of thing, you you end up just being at such a disadvantage. Even though like you're so fast, but with these other two-thirds of the equation, really, it's just you end up being outpaced. It's kind of interesting
Yeah,
how that
it
happens.
it definitely makes a big difference, and just even one mistake in your setup can really affect the outcome of your whole race.
Yeah.
I was joking with some friends today while we were talking about a spec for a different series that I wish that I could just have an engineer in this
Right.
game to set
Exactly.
my
Me
cars
too.
up for me. Uh, just let me drive.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool if you can in the lobby settings almost just upload a sheet and have everyone race that setup,
Hmm.
that would be so cool because it would open up a lot of opportunity for different series, especially a spec series like that where
Hmm.
it's meant to be completely spec and maybe you can change like a few minor things,
Hmm.
but it looks
Yeah,
like
that would be
the
nice
yeah,
because using the BOP comes with its own problems in Gran Turismo
right.
7. Just
Just that's all road
little quality
cars.
of life things that make it rough.
Yeah, like everyone's lined up for the start here though. A rolling start on this track. 7th and 8th place always a bit difficult starting from there because you're right in the middle of one of the chicanes. But everyone else should have an easy getaway here from the start. So Willie leading the field there. See everyone streaming down to the first corner. A rider taking evasive action there.
Oh,
Nearly got into the back of V8 Eater. And heads up driving for him to steer to the right and not the left.
now he's with his teammates, so hopefully they can work together for a little bit to move up from there.
Yeah. So Stoll's getting past Willie there in the opening turns of the track. And Anthony Colazo now side by side with the Team.com driver. Dropping sides there, Willie now on the inside.
Interesting.
Trying to get a
the
better
over-under there.
exit. Oh, that was
And
close.
does.
Kind of waiting for I don't see any penalties, so I think they're both I think they're both fine. I didn't want to do any complimenting until that was cleared by the French marshals and stewards here at Le Mans. They were very mean to a few drivers in D2 earlier on today, but
Definitely in the early laps, people were collecting the time.
that was a great pass by Willie there in the second chicane. Few cars still very close here, going into Mulsanne corner. Very low speed, tight right-hander there at the end of the very long straight.
Seems pretty clean so far. The pack spread out a little bit, but not too much, this early in the race. It's really just about keeping things together so that you can make moves later when it becomes more serious.
Right, just heading into a rhythm more or less now. For the cars that don't have another one right on their bumper, but not the case right now for Willie. Having to defend a little bit there.
And that fighting is really allowing Stolz to get away. He's almost 3 seconds out now.
Yeah, this could also be the case of Willie trying to go for the 2-stop as well, while Stolz is pushing harder for the 3-stop. The 2-stop is difficult, especially when you're starting towards the front of the field like this, because initially it feels like the wrong decision. You'll have people passing you left and right, and a lot of doubt starts to creep in. You're like, oh no, what am I doing wrong here? But then it eventually evens out and ends up being the right call sometimes.
It's part of racecraft, I guess, being able to keep your mind calm while you're executing a plan like that.
Yeah, definitely. Those three becoming a little bit spread out there. We have the top 5 kind of pulling away a little bit, and then a group forming here from 6th It's 10th, it looks like. Arya defending against Sir Hames, Bull's teammate. Sir Hames has some pace in this car as well. We've seen that over the season. Whoa, some contact there between Arya and Sir Hames. Arya getting very sideways at the exit of the S's. Sir Hames sweeping through there.
Oh, 3 wide.
Yeah, it was briefly 3 wide there. So, wondering if that was gonna...
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
He really threw it through there.
Yeah, I don't know
Arya
if that
went
was,
for it.
I don't know if that was a missing a braking point or intentional, but wow, that was very close to being a very heavy crash into the side of another car. Didn't get the best exit out of the corner because of it though, and Bergold is right past again. Battling going up all the way up and down the field.
Yep, no, really, definitely took some time between himself and Anthony Palazzo, so it does make you wonder a little bit if he's going for that 2-spot strategy, because he's definitely probably had to push to get that space.
Yeah. Sessions' car seems to be very fast in a straight line. And D2 we were talking about different levels of downforce, and doesn't look like Sir Hames is much on the rear end.
That's the trade-off.
Yeah, yellow flags here. Oh, I think Arya ended up spinning. No, that's Ryder. Exit of the corner going into messing up my replay here. But low speed exits in this car, very difficult. The specs on the car might say 4-wheel drive, but it's only 4-wheel drive when the hybrid kicks in to the front wheels, and then it's I would say maybe like 90% of it is still going to the rear, so it's not really 4-wheel drive. And the hybrid activates from around, I think, 75 miles an hour to 155, 160 miles an hour. And then it recharges a little bit under braking. Is that regenerative braking technology, kind of like KERS, something similar to that. Much larger battery than the LMP1 car's previous generation of WEC class, but not nearly as efficient.
And so with these cars, with the hybrid batteries, once, I've seen over the course of the season, a lot of the time they run those batteries down. Performance-wise, is that losing them anything in the race?
A little bit in a straight line, but I'd say it affects fuel more than anything, because you're then spending longer on the straight and longer time at full throttle. So I'd say if anything, it affects fuel more. It's taking a very tight inside line there through the curve of before the Mulsanne corner.
saw a little puff of dust there, so pretty wide for that one.
Oh, yep, that'll be a half-second penalty for Stoles at exit of Mulsanne corner, going a bit wide there, dipping a tire into the gravel.
So if they stay like this, I don't think that quite enough. He's taking it this lap. So that should close Willie up right back behind him, given the extra time you lose. He's back up.
Yeah, I think that's gonna put this is gonna put Willie into the slipstream of Stoles going on to the Mulsanne straight now. Succession getting past Sir Hames, Willie's teammate there in the Team.com board. And it's really been moving up the order there. There's ads bringing the Toyota into the Porsche corners now. Got someone in the chat named Here for Ads, and they say, I'm here for ads.
Always good to have fans.
Yeah, always great to have people join the stream to support some drivers they know. Rider in 12th place after that early spin, carrying some damage, opting not to pit there, just sticking with the strategy. It looks like Willie had initially caught up there with the penalty from Stoles, but 0.5 seconds now.
I wonder if now he's starting to do some conserving, because he's definitely cleared Anthony Collazo by quite a bit now. Almost 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's quite a gap back to 3rd place, and then 2.5 seconds behind him, E8 Eater. Must have a hard time saying his name for some reason. Succession in 5th place has used quite a bit of fuel. That might explain why he's been so fast down the straight. He's just revving out the engine. Not all the way, maybe half shifts on the revs there. 210 miles an hour before the braking zone of the second chicane. It's flying. Oh. Got to Arya getting very sideways there on the exit of the second chicane. They also have a half-second penalty, so that's going to give ads a chance.
Interesting. Session has used quite a bit more fuel at this point. Almost a quarter of the tank.
Yeah, it's a big difference at this point. That's definitely going to be the 3-stop strategy, I would think.
I think that we can get one more lap out of that tank. I don't imagine another 12 laps of the cars.
Oh, he's going in now. Russian. So that for accession, that's probably going to be 3 4-lap stints, 1 5-lap stint, somewhere in there, for a total of 17. But for him to make that work, he's going to have to be very quick every lap.
Well, if he can keep up with what he was doing on that first stint, it was working for that.
Yeah, it turned into a solid result by the end there. Back in with Billy, the points leader, by quite a bit here. I think all he needs to do
Losing time
is
to Stoles, but gaining time on Anthony Collazo.
yeah, these two definitely pulling away from the rest of the field. But yeah, Willie, I think all he needs to do is finish the race and get 1 point, and he
Yeah.
has the championship guaranteed.
Yeah, he could pull over and park right now.
Certainly not what Willie does, though, always going for the win.
It's nice to be able to go through the race with that knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, it's much more difficult to be, if you were to like tied for the points lead at the last round, that would be a much different story. Mr. Hames driving to the very edge of the track limits there. Gonna be lucky to get away with that one. He had a millimeter of tire on the curb.
Yeah, it's like he's not going to pick up the penalties. So.
Whoa.
Oh. I've
Wow.
definitely experienced a little of that coming through those corners. That first dip to the right can catch you off guard if you're not careful.
Yeah, he did really well to save it. he did really well to save it, though. Yeah, kept it out of the wall both times.
Yeah, sometimes once you have that first mistake, the nerves can cascade into a few more before you get it back under control.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be nerves. It could just be you're in a rhythm, then you're suddenly not, and it's difficult to get back into it. Stoles now making the first pit stop. Willie doing another lap here. So maybe the plan is say 5 laps and then 2 6-lap stints. And,
yeah, I would say based on that, we're not going to see.
Yeah, so Stoles maybe just getting the 5-lap stint done first, and then doing the longer ones later. Willie doing the opposite here. But let's go back to that save here in Indianapolis. See what went wrong. So he's lifting here, back onto the throttle.
Yep.
I think it might have just been a case of going back onto the throttle, then suddenly off it again at the turning point. Upset the car.
Well, it really dips down there in that right-hander, and I think if you hit it wrong, just wrong, maybe even bottoming out the car a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Combination of things, but yeah, it did really well to keep it from going completely sideways and into the wall. Definitely saved some time in the pits by not having to repair damage, that's for sure. Would have probably been engine damage with the speed he was going. So a number of cars here going on to the 6th lap as well. So Anthony Colazzo in 2nd place. V8 Eater with a 1-second penalty in 3rd place. We have Ads passing Arya there. But a big speed difference. I think Arya is having to save much more fuel, judging by that fuel level.
Pushing hard early, paying for it now.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, these two have the same amount of fuel. Maybe it was just the case of Ads deciding to get by there and then saving from this point in the lap, which is pretty smart, I'd say. much more difficult to pass in a corner than on a straight. Knows that, and it's just yeah, I'll start shifting. I'll start short shifting after I pass you.
Session came out in 8th. It'll be interesting to see how he's able to push from here in the 2nd stint. Once the field starts to get spread out like this, you know, it becomes a bit more of a mind game. I heard some of the racers talking about, you know, this track lulling you a bit into a trance with the long straights, and
Right.
then all of a sudden throwing the turns at you.
Yeah. I often say that the straights are just long enough to get your mind to start wandering, but not long enough for you to get back into refocus. So these chicanes are at just the wrong moment whenever that happens. And if you don't know the track to the point where you just start going on autopilot, then they'll sneak up on you for sure.
I would imagine racers that are new around here can lose it for a minute and not be sure if they're coming to the first chicane on the long stretch or the second one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Willie in now. A lot of people coming in from the first place.
As it starts to get dark here, this race will go through the night, so track will be a lot cooler, a lot more slick. The drivers will have to be even more careful on the throttle, exiting low speed corners. But Stoll's 8.2 seconds and a bit between him and Willie, so that's the difference there between the 5 lap stint and the 6, I guess. Willie just having to save that much more fuel.
Yeah, when Stolz went in, I want to say he had 4 or 5 seconds, maybe last season. So that seemed to work out for him for now. But Willie continuing to put some time between him and Anthony Colazzo.
Yep, and we have Succession just pushing a bit more than everyone else here on the 3-stop strategy, a bit more aggressive. V8 Eater, this is his out lap, I think. Or no, I think maybe he did a 5-lap stint. I'm looking at the timing on the right. I think he did 5 laps, and then I don't know. I feel like it's hard to it's hard to trust the timing on the right sometimes. It does wonky things.
Well, it did say outlap for him when you were running over the timing. So
Yeah,
I
his
think you were
tires
right.
just looked too new to be,
Yeah.
oh, it does say out lap, you're right. That makes much more sense.
The 5th, 6th, and 7th are pretty evenly spread out. Just
Yeah.
settling in and concentrating at this point.
Yeah, I guess it goes back to the focus and the mind games strategy sort of portion of the race. I think the overused cliche, I guess, is the 200-mile-per-hour game of chess
Yes.
kind of moment.
And I think once everybody makes their last stop and the sun comes back up, we'll see everybody start pushing harder.
Yeah.
Pretty equally spread out, it seems, all the way down through the field. Pretty similar times between each little group of cars.
It looks like the closest right now are Ryder and Trackhead here in 10th and 11th. It looks like Ryder maybe hit one lap later than Trackhead.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're running slightly different strategies, but I wonder if it'll just line them back up in the end.
It's an odd place to get a penalty. I wonder what happened there.
King pushing along. On his 3rd race of the night, so boy, I would be pretty spacey at this point.
Yeah, me too. Still doing pretty good though, considering.
Yet another way LRC mimics real life racing. You know, sometimes you'll see in IMSA races one driver running from one car to the next car because he's a factory driver and he's got a job to do. Today that's Sam King.
Right. Yeah, it's a really cool setup the way the teams are formed, and you have a team championship for each division, but also overall. So the way we used to do it, I think next season will also be like a draft type of situation. But the way we used to do it is we would run the qualifying sprint, or the not the sprint, the qualifying shootout. That's what we called it. And then the team would be divided up against everyone's time, so you'd have like the fastest driver in Division 1 and the slowest driver in Division 1 would be paired with the 2 middle drivers of Division 2. But then everyone would be, like, everyone's points are still, like, if you're fighting for 13th place of 14 and you're getting 2 points instead of 1 for your team, like, that could still make a difference. So it's cool to see that everyone can contribute to the team points.
And so the way the teams were formed for this season, you know, I didn't take part in that because I was in the academy. It was different than you guys have done in the past. Maybe you can talk about it a little bit for people who are interested in getting involved.
Yeah, so this season, and I believe next season will be the same, is we figured out what the team captains would be. So the top 7 in the qualifying shootout, and then from there it was almost like a draft situation. Is the word that I can associate with it, I guess, where you as the team captain just kind of choose like, okay, I want this driver, or you could pick a car. You want to go that direction first, and then just pick drivers that you want on your team, pretty much. Helps, of course.
So picking the car is part of that drafting process as well?
Yeah. And there's some strategy in that too. Like, do you want to pick drivers first or cars? Next season, I'd imagine will just be cars, because be drivers rather, because the cars are picked. So
yeah, there'll be one.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of you definitely want an overall good driver on your team that won't cause any incidents, so your team doesn't get any penalties, sort of thing. And
I suppose that doing it the other way, where you would pair the fastest driver with the slowest, I feel like there's ways you could game the system there a little bit. So maybe this way of having a draft takes it out of it.
I think that was part of the decision making. But it's a cool way to do it now, because you can pick the people that you know will do well in certain areas, and almost build like a set of skills where you have like, this guy's good at tuning, we have like the tuner on our team will make the setups, and this guy's really good at strategy, and they'll think up the strategy. They'll be the mastermind.
And so was sticking academy drivers on Willie's team.
Some rain here, I
think.
think.
We do have some rain, so that's going to complicate things a little bit.
Yeah.
Depending on how long it sticks around.
Yeah, this could be just a short flash of rain here, or it could be the start of a lot more.
On one part of the track.
Yeah, you can see it kind of comes and goes, but also you'll notice if you're driving around on a big track like this, some parts of the track it will be raining, and other parts it won't. But for drivers in the middle of a stint here in their 3-stop strategy, it's always a question of, do I risk it and stay out, or is it bad enough to put on the full wet tires? Because another thing with the league here, Division 1 at least, there are no inters, so it's either mediums or wets.
Okay. So you want to really try to make it work. You want to avoid getting on those wets if you can.
Yeah, exactly. And for now, I don't see that much rain on the track. Looking at the bottom left here, the rain meter sort of thing, it's only below the first line there. It's in the first third, so
yeah, so it's still safe.
Yeah, it's a little slippery out there, but it's not too bad. I don't see any more rain, so I think it stopped.
While we were chatting there, both Stoles and Willie have increased their space between the person behind them. 13 seconds each.
Yeah, so both continuing to drive away from Anthony Colazzo and Stoles just as much there. Some rain coming back, so definitely some scattered showers.
Oh,
looks like a bit more than showers now.
Yeah. Could play a factor in the end of the race here. As it stands, Stoles winning this. That would definitely keep him in second for the championship. Anthony would need Stoles to make some pretty bad mistakes at this point to close that gap.
driving at night at this track. Also, a bit difficult to see your braking points, your references.
Ooh.
Really using all of the available track there.
I heard streamers once while I was watching tuning videos say that you bought the game, you paid for the whole track, so really you're wasting money if you don't use it.
Nice. Paid for the whole track, I'm gonna use the whole track kind of thing.
Yeah.
V8 Eater still doing well in 4th place. Like, for the most part, keeping up with everyone on the same strategy there, so doing pretty well there. And then Sir Ames in 5th place. Got the gap between these two though, Ryder and Vergold. Like they're on a similar enough strategy, maybe 1 lap offset. These two are pretty close, and then we have Ads and Arya. We saw them battling a bit before. Looks like they're still continuing that battle.
Now, Ads and Ryder, they're tied at 70 points, 6th and 7th in the series, so where they both end up definitely has an effect on their team's end in the season.
Yeah, so this group of cars here, there's some battles in there for various championships. Oh. Yeah, the track has not quite dried out yet, and the tires have cooled down quite a bit from the water on the track, so getting them back up to temperature is going to take a bit. Ads now closing in on Vergold, going into the Porsche curves. Look, he was a little wide there through the right-hander of the Porsche curves, the second of the turns. Maybe because of some dirty air. Less aero on the front, right behind, who was he behind? They must have pit. It was Vergold. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like, where'd he go? So this could potentially be Ryder's last stop here. Should be good till the end of the race if they fill the tank, so.
So it seems like Ryder and Vergold on the same strategy. I think everybody else still has one more.
Yeah, we should see Ads and Arya both hit either probably next lap, and then we'll see what the order is.
Looks like the session is good to the end now.
I don't know if he can do 7 laps on 3/4 of a tank. I still have to do one more.
Do you think maybe that's a miscalculation? Because those tires seem pretty fresh. And, you know, if you're going in lap 16, really throw a wrench the whole race for you.
Yeah. Trying to see where he might have fit here. So I think he did 4-lap stint, and then a 5. Not really sure. We were
Like he
thinking,
hit on lap 5 and lap 10, I want to say.
yeah, we were thinking earlier that he would do 2 5-lap stints and 2 6-lap stints.
Right.
No, I'm getting my math wrong.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how many laps you get on the tank here, so
It was 3 4-lap stints and 1 5-lap stint. That would
okay.
that would get you 17.
Well, that seems like he's off that.
Oh.
Maybe a
Strategy not
mistake
going to plan then.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Alright, Stoll's in for his last stop.
On the HHR are out of the pits as one comes in. Be interesting if we could make the pit boxes be 1 per team.
I was thinking about stacking drivers. Maybe for the next Gran Turismo.
It starts pouring rain and you're right next to each other, you're like, uh-oh.
The sun's starting to come up, and so I think we'll probably start seeing some more aggressive driving. Maybe the pack closes up and people try to make their final moves.
Yeah, so Sir Hames and Ryder were fairly close together a couple laps ago. Ryder will be good till the end, and then Sir Hames just exiting the pit lane now. You can hear his car going through the pit exit, and these two will probably have a good battle till the end now.
Here comes Ryder up behind him. His tires. Looks like he went in on lap 11, so they're nice and warmed up, ready to go. Sir Hames is on some full tires, but pressure.
Oh, Sir Hames has filled up the tank all the way, so they certainly won't have to worry about conserving any fuel. They can just push flat out there.
You know, sometimes you don't want to do the math.
Yeah, you know, that's fair. Me, anytime I try and do mental math while I'm driving, there isn't much extra capacity there. I use all my brain power on the driving part. So
And I guess if any other part of your drive goes different than you had planned for, you kind of just like throws your ability to judge accurately out the window a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the type that needs a race engineer and a strategist. one in either ear, maybe. Alright, so Willie doing his last stop. He did 2 6-lap stints and now onto the 5-lap.
Anthony Colazo coming in too.
Right, so Willie about halfway through refueling there.
pretty sure Willie probably knows exactly the amount of fuel he needs to get to the end here.
Yeah.
Almost a full tank.
That looks like 91%. That was a cool shot.
Anthony
Stills
Plaza went
here.
ahead and filled it all the way up.
Yeah. Stills here with the fastest lap currently, still putting in personal best times. So pushing on in the front there. Gap currently 8.7 seconds back to Willie. And Willie with fresh tires and exactly the amount of fuel he needs. So.
Definitely he's managed to, it's closer than it was, I guess, putting on that little bit less fuel helped him close up a few seconds between the two of them.
Yeah, and that's part of the strategy, like, do I want to spend less time in the pits and make up time that way, or fill the tank, take that extra 9%, which is equal to 3 seconds, and then just carry that little bit of extra weight, isn't much really, and then use as much fuel as use a little bit more fuel. Maybe not as much fuel as you want.
How's Accession looking at this point? He's up in fourth now, but there's still that question whether or not he can. He's not going to make it to the end with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if, let's say his pit stop takes 30 seconds or so, that'll still got him 8th when he comes out.
Not bad.
And then he'll have fresh tires and as much fuel as he wants.
I would guess keep it pretty low as he can.
Yeah, everyone else will have worn tires at that point, so.
So it might still work out for him pretty well.
Yeah, it's possible to get a top five out of it, maybe. I think he's the only driver who was going for that three-stop strategy. I think everyone else on the track has gone the more conservative route. Ads has put some distance between him and Arya. Looks like Virgil just dropped back from Arya as well. And the two Benefactor AMGs currently 12th and 13th, but neither of them have to pit, so if any cars in front have to pit for strategy or picking up damage, that kind of thing, and need to pit to repair it, then pick up a couple of spots from that.
Alright, Accession's in for his last pit stop.
Yep.
Both that time in the pits. Nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't started refueling yet. They're just finished putting the tires on and now getting the refueling done. Should be able to get out before Arya gets there, though.
I feel like
He's putting a lot of fuel
A
in.
lot of fuel in there. Oh, he's going almost full. That is.
92, alright.
So I feel like that's going to really cut into any advantage he might have had from running this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if he was able to do more even stints, then it would have been a bigger advantage. Keeping the car light, short fueling the car just to get to the next pit stop.
But he did come out in 8th still, and 6 seconds to ads.
That's true.
But he has Arya right on him.
We'll find the two cars that are. Oh, they looked like they were right next to each other, but. Over 3-second gap there. Nixon has a lot of damage on the car. Probably why Trackhead was able to pass him there in the Porsche curves. Looks like Nixon continuing on, not opting to fix that damage, so maybe just looking to finish the race here.
So Willie has closed in a little over a second in the last lap. That's not going to be enough to keep at that pace. He'll go quite a bit faster if he wants to catch Stoles before the end.
Yeah, it's currently 0.8 seconds best lap though. Maybe with this last stint, this stint being his 5-lap quarter part of his strategy, maybe he will be able to push a bit more. That's best lap by a second there, 3:27.
Yeah. He's gonna try.
As compared to Stoles 3:28.6, that's about 1.5 seconds, a little bit more than that. We'll see if that continues there. We have 3 laps remaining, including this one.
Stoles has just been nice and smooth and consistent the whole race.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell he's put a lot of practice into this one. And the team working on the setup and the strategy as well. Gaining a little bit of time there through the first section of the track, picking up some understeer there through the S's.
Arya close enough to make use of the slipstream. Not with Pike, especially how to have a better exit.
Yeah, Accession definitely has a better top end in the car there.
On those newer tires.
Yeah, he had a much better exit than Arya at that first chicane as well. There you go, a little bit deep. So these two, the cars just ahead. Adds with a half-second penalty currently. So does Ryder though. That will gap will remain the same. It'll let these two catch up a little bit though.
Oh, looks like someone almost. Looks like Arya's picking up a penalty for that one for sure.
Yeah, that'll be a penalty if they don't lift or brake or slow down some other way. I can't really think of a third option, but
Looks like no though. Managed to get away with it. It looks like. But going wide again there.
oh no. Yeah, so Arya went a little bit deep into the first chicane on the Mulsanne Straight and had just continued to I think the car was going to slow down a bit faster, or maybe it's just a change in wind direction. It could be as simple as that. It'll throw you off and take different speeds into different corners.
So Accession under a second to Ryder now, so that pressure tires gonna definitely factor into these last couple of laps. They end up fighting, that could let ads definitely pull away and secure sixth for sure.
Yep, Ryder also went wide on the exit of the Corvette curves. Picked up a half-second penalty there as well, so Accession really just needs to be behind him at the penalty line and get that passed on. Whether he's going to wait until that part in the track, not quite sure yet.
Oh, Ryder off. So it's gonna be the pass for Accession for sure there.
Yeah, that was in the midpoint between the Dunlop chicane. So maybe just too quick to go back on the throttle again. That's exactly what it was.
Yep. Just lost it. That's a hard corner to, you have to feel like you have to take it slower than you think you do.
Yeah. Yeah, these cars, they're not very agile. they feel very heavy. They got a very long wheelbase as well, so they do feel a bit clumsy at low speed, a bit like a modern Formula One car. A lot heavier than those, of course, and with less downforce. Maybe not the most direct comparison.
Seeing a blue flag there, so we're gonna be catching up.
Yeah, that's either V8 Eater or Nixon there. Able to get by without a problem though, so easy enough. On to the last lap now, lap 17. Bulls leading the race, 3.3 seconds. Willie in second place, who sets another fastest lap.
Willie has been pushing.
Yeah, almost down to the qualifying time now, pretty much.
Even if he doesn't catch him, it's a pretty impressive last stint.
Yeah. Check in on some other battles here. Looks like Ads is still Ads has put a bit of a gap now between him and Accession. Accession even more ahead of Arya. Ryder after that. Been there down into 9th place. Bergold has a minute on track yet. And then Nixon and Lamb King. So Nixon there, you can see Willie has just got past as well. sure both of these drivers right now are just watching the fuel gauge, thinking, how much can I use? And I'd imagine for Willie it's a bit more of fine balance than Skulls. Taking that 9% less fuel at the pit stop for 91% total. Skulls, this is Skulls, he did his first stint was a 5 lap, right? And then he's done 6
I
after.
believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. 1 lap left than Willie on the first one.
Time is steadily coming down there. 0.2 seconds now. Skulls has very little fuel right now. You can see him short shifting as soon as there's revs shown on the rev meter, really. Whoa, Willie!
Oh no! Willie goes off.
He got very sideways, almost perpendicular to the wall at one point. On the exit of Arnage, I think it is, after Indianapolis. And I think that was the moment where he saw the race lead slip away from him there.
I think so. That was going to be it. It's too bad after such a great run here.
Yeah, these two just drops in the fuel tank now, and through the Ford chicanes, through the last time, it is Team.com Ford that he is denying the victory here. Stoles breaks the Willie win record here. Willie won't have 6 wins in the season, but Willie will be able to keep the #1 plate on his car. Won the championship by quite a lot. So Stoles will be very happy with that win, I'm sure.
Yep, definitely he's second place in the series, so clinched that by doing that run. Anthony Palazzo is going to retain his 3rd place to round out the podium for the league.
Yeah, it was a good drive from Anthony Collazo there. Didn't really have many cars around him. It was kind of just on his own. But able to keep his focus and grab a podium there. EA Eater, 4th place. Very good drive from him. Able to sort out the strategy and setup of the car very nicely. Sir Hames, similar strategy there to Skulls. Finishes with a top 5. Close battle here for the last couple corners. Accession in 6th place. Adds with a 3-second penalty there, giving it everything at the end there, trying to push the car to limits. Make up the time to Accession, ends up in 7th place. And he shouldn't have to worry about that 3-second penalty at the end there. I think that'll only double to 6 seconds. Arya was 15 behind. Arya crossing the line in 8th, and we have Vergold in 9th place, Ryder in 10th. Nixon and Lamb King have already crossed the line. They were a lap down, I believe. But what a drive from Stoles, though. I mean,
Did a really great job.
Yeah. Did the he did the 5-lap stint early on.
Yep.
Built a gap there, found a place to slot into in clear air. Kept his focus, didn't break under pressure when Willie was chasing him down at the end. A great win for him. And Willie, of course, for 5 wins in a row and a second at the last.
Pretty solid race. Pretty solid season.
Yeah.
Some of those finishes, it's going to shift things around a little bit. Accession, his finish is going to move him up to at least 7th in the series, maybe as high as 6th, depending on how many points Ads takes home. So that was a great run by him as well.
Yeah, I think Accession had one of his best finishes today in D1, so good drive to him. Made the 3-stop work even when he was kind of off sequence at one point. Still gathered it together well inside the top 10. So Stoles with the win in the HHR gives some big points to the team. We'll see how the overall team standings turn out after any stewards' decisions. I don't think we'll have many incident reports at all here today.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Didn't see any. We had like some minor contacts here and there in the D2 race, but yeah, overall really good drive, really clean from everyone. Willie in second, taking the fastest lap, 326.4, an extra point for him there. Not that he not that he needs any more extra points, but that was a good lap at the end there with the 5-lap stint. Anthony Colazzo in third place, V.A. Eater and Sir Hames in 4th and 5th, Accession and Ads 6th and 7th place, Arya in 8th, the leading Team Azul Dodge there, and then Virgil's the lone Renault at their home race in 9th place, Ryder in 10th, Trackhead and Nixon in 11th and 12th, and Lamb King finishing his triple shift at the AMG Mercedes in 13th. So yeah, overall, really cool season. Able to see all the teams develop the cars, strategies, just improve overall as drivers in general. And some
great stuff.
Yeah, some cheers in the chat for Stoles breaking the Willie streak. I'm sure Stoles is gonna carry that on for a bit. Yeah, awesome racing overall. Do you have any closing comments for this one?
Nope, nothing really. It's great job for everybody. Stoll should be pretty happy with that. I mean, solid performance all the way through. Congratulations to Willie for bringing home the win this season. Thanks for having me join you.
Yeah.
The first time doing this was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
And,
great to have you in the booth. And if you're interested in joining LRC or watching on Twitch, head to the Twitch page. You could find the Discord invite link. And we do league races like this, but also just more fun, casual events on any day of the week that organizers organize the events. And if you want to join the Next Academy League Season 6, yeah, join the Discord and get in contact with any of the organizers there. It'll point you in the right direction. But yeah, that'll be it for Season 5, and we'll see you next time for Season 6. Thanks for watching.